Okay, we're live. We got people coming in here. Hello everybody. I'm here with King Ray Vet, and we've been seeing him a lot in these chat threads and in my comments. So I love this opportunity to talk to him. We'll be getting his story, and as always, Bob Dana, my good friend who I've gotten to know this year, and it's like I've adopted him, or I hope he's adopted me. Because we need all the family and friends that we can get in these tough times. So maybe just go one at a time. King Ray Vet, you can go first and just introduce yourself, and then we'll just this conversation will just flow naturally, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm King Ray Vet, otherwise known as Ray Gibson. These two guys adopted me. And I was at first, I was looking at them like, oh God, these two white guys, what the hell do they want? And then as they started talking, I was like, ooh, white supremacy. Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah. Well, we're trying down with white supremacy.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
let's do that.
Okay.
Down.
Two white guys taking on white supremacy? Okay, I'm in. Because I have been yelling at y'all for 10 years to get involved and to stop putting it on us. We've been trying to fight these fuckers for over 400 years. It's obvious we're not going to stop it. In fact, they're after our heads. Anyway, I'm Ray Gibson. I am the eldest son of the Bob Gibson, Hall of Fame baseball player the pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, which always excites a lot of people. I'm an old fart like these guys. I'm approaching 70. In fact, I think I'm in between Walter and
you are. Yes, I'm the oldest of the farts. So
you're the oldest. So, but anyway, I've been around. I've been all around the country. I was a software consultant, which I got the training in the military, Air Force, whatever, all this shit on my head. And I've lived an amazing life. And I found my home here on Substack because I was quite too radical for Facebook and Medium and places that did not like black men standing up and being loud and being proud. And they kicked me all over the place. But nevertheless, Substack is a lot more left-leaning, so that's why I'm here. And I've been retired since I was 52 years old, so I don't even remember what it was like to be in the workforce. But so I write here on Substack, and I'm all over everybody else's Substacks. I was a typist before I got into the military, so I typed like the wind. And I could say a whole lot in a whole little bit of time. And I've got 50,000 tabs open on my browser.
Sounds like
in
my
fact,
parade.
I have so many tabs open that it's starting to kill my computer. And I'm like, ooh. I swear I've got like 200 tabs open, literally. And then I complained to Mozilla, what the hell's wrong with your Firefox? You're taking up all the damn space. But anyway, so needless to say, Bob and I went through the 60s. Happy MLK Day, everybody.
Happy MLK Day.
I'm glad I got to speak first because I don't want anybody pimping out Martin Luther King's what he was about, and white people tend to do that. They only pay attention to what they like, and what they're uncomfortable with they try to ignore. And they hated the man. They hated the man. I sat there and watched him be hated until they began to understand what he was really about. And even he thought, oh my God, I think I just took my people through what did he say? A burning church or burning house. He said that because all of that peaceful movement got our asses kicked, got fire hoses thrown on us, got dogs sicked on us, got spit on, I saw it all. As a child, I was watching it on TV, and I snuck and watched it on TV because my mother said, oh no, you can't watch that. Both my parents were activists in a way. My mother, she would get arrested, and my dad would say, ooh, you're Bob Gibson's wife. You can't do that. And she was like, yeah, whatever, Bob. And so she was getting arrested. Meanwhile, he integrated Major League Baseball. Him, Bill White, Kurt Flood jumped on the Cardinals and said, you can't have the black players over here and the white players over there getting all the good treatment. How are we going to perform in this kind of way? And he convinced Red Shandies, I believe, to talk to the executives of the Cardinals and integrate Major League Baseball. And once the Cardinals did it, boom, 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 it spread throughout the whole Major League Baseball, and that's why it's integrated to this day. So I've got lots of stories,
Awesome.
Yeah.
lots of cool stories because I lived the dream that Black people wish they could have lived. And although I was a kid, I didn't understand why people didn't like me because I was very likable. But it was the money, it was the fame, it was all this stuff that I found annoying.
Mhm.
Because it was annoying. There were people in our house. It seemed like we had a party in our house every other month. Uh, our life was public. You know, anything that went on with our family ended up all over the news.
Mm.
Um, it was just very difficult to live in that environment. But I got to do things that other Black people in Omaha, Nebraska didn't get to do.
Mm.
I went to Switzerland on a ski trip, and I rode motorcycles all over town. They never seen Black people on skis, and they didn't see Black people driving around on motorcycles. So it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of stress.
Huh.
Uh,
What years were
yeah.
that? Were you doing those kind of trips?
I went to Switzerland in 1973, right after
73.
Vietnam ended. And oh, they hated us in Switzerland. We
Wow.
Mm.
got cussed out
Yeah.
in multiple languages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's so great to have you here. It's so great to have you here and all these stories. And I know, and like today is the perfect day as we reflect on Dr. King. And yeah, exactly as you said, they listen to 2 seconds of the "I have a dream" speech, and then it's like, even in schools, you're not allowed to bring it up. And I always the letter from Birmingham jail where they he deliberately says it's the moderates you gotta watch out for, and that's something I've been reflecting on a lot. Because when I first read it, I'm like, "What is he really how can that be true?" And after saying it, you start seeing the evidence, you're like, "Okay, that I'll try that theory myself." You go out into the field with it and you see. But let me just have Bob introduce himself for a moment too, because he's got that parallel life, and I just think this is really fascinating.
Yeah, and you know, Ray, I always like kind of listening to that story. It's such a great story, and obviously Walter and I have now had a number of shows that I've joined him on, several different uh, of his shows, and then obviously, if you've seen me on Nick Barrow, and then Will Fullwood, and all kind of driven. I think now I turned 75 this year. Wrote a memoir, which I think wound up starting to get. Yeah,
I like it. I was looking around for it. I have it here somewhere.
here, I'll show it to you. Here we go. A shameless plug. But it's yeah. So I think
Promote
that kind of
yourself,
drove.
man.
Was that?
Promote yourself, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Darn it.
yeah. I'm kind of done promoting myself these days. At this point, it's 100%. Kind of give back whatever little wisdom I've accumulated and the like over my 75 years. I'm trying to have available to everybody. But actually, I'm a STEM guy, so I kind of grew up poor on Long Island. My father was a racist, a bigot, anti-Semite, all the bad things you could possibly be. Born in '51, so I kind of grew up in the '50s and really came to awareness in the late '50s and into the '60s. And from that point of view, I was kind of listening to all of the horrible things my dad said about you know everybody, pretty much, and kind of convinced. Oh, did we lose?
Oh, we can't hear you, Walter. His audio is always fucking up on him.
Oh yeah.
Can't hear you. Keep talking. He'll figure it out.
Oh yeah. He'll catch up. Um, actually, I came to real awareness, about race and the differences, and awareness about Dr. King in the early '60s. And so, but like I said, I'm a STEM guy, so actually early on, wanted to be a scientist, and then ultimately declared as a physicist going to college. Didn't have any money, so went to Hunter College in Manhattan. free university. All the poo-pooing that they do at Bernie Sanders about free universities and free healthcare, et cetera, for all. I'm a product of that. The investment that the city made in me. I think I paid back multiple times over my lifetime. But got a bachelor's and master's in physics, and then went as Ray joined the Air Force. I'm a Navy guy. So about the same time, I think, Ray, you went in around 75, 76. I think I went in 75, 76, the same time frame.
No, 78.
78 for you? Okay. I took my commission in 75 and went on active duty in 76. But then got another master's degree in engineering and spent my whole career in science and technology, in engineering. And so retired now officially from a full-time position about 8 years now, 8 years ago. And then over the last 8 years, I've been doing a lot of different things, and then kind of officially retired, which means for me, not taking any longer a paycheck for anything I do 2 years ago. And so everything is pretty much, give back. Found Substack now about a year and a half ago or so, and found my people, found my community, and I found my voice. And so you see me on there, pretty much being able to come out and be the progressive I've always been, but in many cases have been stymied to actually speak out the way that I wanted to speak out because of the nature of the environment, the business environment, the engineering environment that I worked in.
Mic check. Can you hear? Can you hear?
Now we
Yes.
can hear.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Thank God. I'm just sitting here freaking out. I need a tech guy in my house. I'm just a dumb writer. I just sit here and write stories all day. I don't like to do this tech stuff.
Yeah,
I did
Walter,
get,
you need a new car, you need a new computer, you need a new microphone.
this would be
Let
a
me
good
give a
time to
plug.
become a
I
paid
will give a,
subscriber of Walter.
I'll give a plug. I am a founding subscriber, a founding member of Walter, and he just came out with another newsletter that
Yeah.
I subscribe to. So support Walter. He is a voice that we all need to
Oh,
to
thank you
be
so
focused
much.
on supporting.
Oh, and yeah, I appreciate so much this opportunity and some of the things that you were saying before, King Ray, like just this illusion that we're different, and that's where all these fights come from. That illusion that we have disagreements, and so often they break out in the chats. And we've had a couple times already where you've written to me and said, Walter, what about this? And I'll listen. And that's so important because like what you said at the beginning, who are these two white guys? I run into that all the time. And I try to platform as many voices as possible. And in this last year, I've learned so much. And I was, because my, anti-racism journey, I left this country back in 2001. I lived in South America. My wife and I moved back in 2009, and she's from Peru. So and it's just sort of like, I always knew something was wrong, but you're blinded by that indoctrination of white supremacy here. And I'm just like, something's wrong. But we're told a lot of what human nature is, and it isn't human nature. It's white supremacy creating camouflage for itself. And so it's been through my wife's eyes and through her experience, I'm figuring out, but exactly what you said, beating white supremacy is white people have to do this. It's a white
Yeah.
person problem. You have to fix it because it's killing white people too. That's the thing that they haven't realized. They think they have the illusion of advantages from it, but it's just, that's all a lie. And you're going to see it, with the way this administration is going, because they're
Well,
going to start
listen,
sacrificing
I
their
was
people.
never fooled
Yeah.
because
Well,
we
go ahead.
are the fucking targets.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
when I was a kid, my mother liked to travel, and she would stick us in the car, and we'd go from Omaha to Florida, where the Cardinals were doing their spring training. We had to piss on the side of the car because of white-only bathrooms. So listen, I've been dealing with this white supremacy thing all my life. And being on this side of it, none of us are fooled.
Yes.
Well, I have met some black people who have been fooled, but not sure why they never experienced some of the stuff I did. But see, they stuck when I was in 10th grade. I'm sorry, when I was 10 years old, we moved from the hood to the all white neighborhood. So that's where I got it full blast. Me and my sister were the only blacks in the whole neighborhood, in the whole school. And, all the way through high school, there was only 4 blacks in the school.
Mm.
So we got all of the white supremacy bullshit nonstop. I had to bust the kid's tooth out for calling me the N-word
Yeah.
and a couple other things. And I mean, we was playing. He was chasing me down a hill. And I was fast. I'm a fast little fucker. And so I was outrunning him, and he said, "Stop, N-word."
Oof.
And I was like, "Did he just call me a nigga? Whoa." And then he said, "No, stop, jigaboo." And I said,
Oh
"Okay."
boy.
I stopped. I turned around. He was running downhill. I'm faced uphill. And right when he hit me, boom. And I knocked his tooth out. And he ran in and told the teacher. The teacher called the principal. The principal called me, called my mom. My mom came to the school, and I thought, "Oh my God, I'm in a lot of trouble." And so we're sitting there. She pulls me out of into the hallway and says, "Okay, what happened?" And I told her exactly what happened. Then I punched the little kid out for calling me racial slurs.
Yeah.
And so she said, "Okay." We went back into the principal's office, and the principal started talking. We don't want violence. And she said, "Listen, Mr. Principal, if these little white brats in this neighborhood ever call my child another racial slur, I give him permission to knock their fucking block off." That I looked up because I had my head down, I thought I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And I looked up and I was like, "Whoa." And his face was beet red. And all he could say was, "Yes, Mrs. Gibson. Yes,
Nice.
Mrs. Gibson. Yes, Mrs. Gibson." And my mom said, "And because you called me all the way over here, my child is off school the rest of the day. Come on, let's go." And we got up and went home, and I got to play my stereo and all the rest of the day.
Yeah. I suppose that was the end. I mean, did the kid who came at you, did he learn a lesson from it? Did he?
Nobody ever called me another name like that all the way through high school. They were scared of my mama.
Yeah.
My mama would come up to that school and she kicked the gym teacher's ass.
And so
And I
often.
got to watch it. He hit my sister in the head with a ball
Yeah.
on purpose. And
Yeah.
my mom came up there and kicked his butt. And then he failed up. Of course, white people fell up. We fell
Oh,
down.
yeah.
They failed up. They moved him to the junior high school I went to. So when he saw me coming down the hallway, guess what he did? About face, pew, he
Well,
took off.
yeah. And that whole structure of that though, because I've had to deal with these kind of incidents too, where people harass my kids in school for being a Spanish speaking family. And it's one of those things where you have to set them straight. And I did it over the phone because I was a little afraid. I had to have a talk one time with the police officer, the school resource officer. And I'm just like, after what had happened, I didn't trust myself to talk. I didn't trust myself to keep my cool. And he tried to maneuver me, and there's these things that happen. We got this and this, and we got these conflicting reports. And I'm just, all right, you've had your say. It's time for me to have my say. And I said what I had to say. And then I'm like, and now I'm sending my wife in. So you're in real trouble. But they were very then polite with my wife, and they moved the kid out of the classroom. That was problematic. But I don't know. I want to hear Bob's thoughts on this because it's the more things change, the more things stay the same is the deal. And we don't have
Yep.
that structure in place.
They're
We still
calling
have a
us an
structure.
N-word again. They're calling
Yeah.
us all sorts of names. They're
Yeah.
trying to oppress us. And
Bob, what are your
Well, yeah, I think
observations?
the biggest issue is for all the progress that's been made since the 60s, and there has been a lot of progress. So I kind of, lived through the Kennedy administration and all of the civil rights movement, voting rights. I mean, all of those things that I thought as a kid, okay, was really kind of establishing the new normal in the United States. But the
Yeah.
resistance is very strong. So every opportunity for a backsliding, there's a backsliding. That's the problem. And
yep,
then, and Walter and I have chatted about this numerous times. The teaching of history, real history, okay, and I kind of had taken exception to Black History Month, okay, to the Black History Museum on the mall, to thinking about Black history, okay,
Yeah.
it just pisses me off
It's one
because
history.
it's
Yeah.
American history, okay,
well,
and
you
once you
know what?
start to,
On the back end, they're trying to piss us. They're trying to provoke us,
Yes.
yeah,
is
oh
what they're
yeah,
trying to do, because they're wondering where we are while all these protests are going on. Well, listen, if we show the fuck up at these protests, let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to target us. They're going to
Oh
shoot
yeah,
first and ask questions later. And then the white folks are going to do what they always do and sit back and watch it like a TV commercial and let us take the fall. That's why we're not out there,
that's
because
good.
we would be targeted.
Yes.
But they're trying to provoke us because they really want to wipe us out.
Yeah. That's what I was,
Well,
and I
and
was go ahead.
I'm sorry, yeah, Walter, but I feel kind of passionately about this, as you know. Yeah, the biggest problem also is if you look now at the Congress, our representatives, the senators, the political kind of leadership, and say, well, where are they? Okay, where are they? Okay, they're
Yeah.
nowhere to be seen. Why aren't they on the steps of the Capitol like every day, yelling and screaming? There's three of them out there.
Yeah.
You know,
And they're women. They're all women.
Yep. Yep.
and they're
Yep.
women, or they're women of color or black women. Okay, and so it's why do we have to have them do that? Okay, because everybody else
Spineless.
is.
They traded their balls in.
I'm not sure they
Well,
traded their balls in, or they just just stuff in their pockets with all of
yeah.
the special interest money. Okay,
Yes.
that it wants to prevent
Yeah.
having this be what we're really discussing.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Everybody's been bought and paid for. All the mainstream media has been bought and paid for. All the politicians have been bought and paid for. And so it turns to just a handful of people, and then they are able to marginalize that handful of people.
But
Whether
you know
they're
what? If
again
they were
driven.
in our shoes, no amount of money would be able to comfort them
Yeah,
while they're being oppressed, brutalized, called out
Mhm.
their name, having their
Yes.
children's names get called out. If they weren't white, they wouldn't be able to take that money. That's why Jasmine Crockett hasn't done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And I want to say too, because so many people still aren't seeing. They keep talking about the midterms, and it's like we have to do something today. And there's so much you can do, and that's why I wrote an article the other week or a couple days ago. I'm like, whose side is Adam Kinzinger on? Really, was the title, and a lot of left leaning people were coming after me, and I've been telling them Adam Kinzinger doesn't platform people that challenge his point of view. He gets up and he dictates to us, and I'm like, I'd love to
Yeah,
talk to him if he wants to talk to me. But we got to watch out. There's all these status quo guys that are just telling us, "Oh, calm down," and that's gets back to the letter from Birmingham jail. All those centrists are like, just wait," because inaction is the
Always
same
wait.
as inaction is the same as enabling the white supremacists because they're in control of everything. We have
I've
to
been waiting
actively
for
get to work.
68 years. 68 years I've
Yeah,
been waiting. What the
yeah,
fuck? They expect me to I'll be waiting until I fucking die
yep,
before I see this shit go. We're facing Jim Crow too. I never thought I would go through that twice in a lifetime. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? And but see, we have a level of discipline in what we're doing because we know we're only comprised of 13% of the population.
yeah,
So we have to be careful not to get fucking killed over this stuff. Even though I'm splitting mad
yeah,
that they keep telling us to wait. Wait for what? We- If we wait till midterms, we may not have a country to save.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, Ray. And I tell you, the other thing that makes me crazy, and I think I was going back and forth with Zuri Stevens on a conversation the other day, or maybe it was a number of different folks around Kissinger, and what his the fact that we've got so many of these Republicans who have now seen the light, okay, and are now kind of representing the fact that, oh no, okay, I'm now a centrist Democrat, or I'm left leaning. Exactly. Bullshit. 100% bullshit. Okay,
Yeah.
they're opportunistics. And they are charlatans, and they would flip in a second to be back a conservative given the opportunity.
And
And
Cullen
so
shows that. Yeah.
Well,
you
they're
know,
lying. They're
it kind of,
lying.
well, yeah, absolutely.
I grew up
Because
with those
again, they're
people.
getting the
I
money, they're
grew up
getting
with
the platform.
I grew up with the centrist rich folks. Okay, there was nothing worse than being around those people because they would smile in our face and then tell me, "But you better not date my goddamn daughter, or you better not
Yeah.
be friends with this guy, and you better not." It, it was all this stuff that they were saying, but on the flip side, they were saying a different thing to their people, but they were treating me a different way.
Mm.
Yeah, and I don't know if
So
Ray, I mean, do you know who Phil Oakes is? He's an old, well, he's gone now. He died in the 70s, but he was a folk singer, kind of and who was
no, I wouldn't have
commentary.
known him.
Yeah.
I was Motown all the way.
All righty, yeah, I figured as much. I kind of went all over, but Phil Oakes had a song. If anybody wants to kind of check it out, it's on. You can find it on YouTube and all. It's called "Love Me, I'm a Liberal," and this was written in the mid '60s. Okay, exactly what you're talking about. Exactly what you're talking about is his claim is, well, liberals can't be trusted to do anything for
Mm-mm,
anybody other than themselves. Um,
mm-mm.
and so, and I'm sure there's tons of folks on the call right now that are saying, "Oh no, I'm a liberal," but yeah,
Yeah, not
well,
me.
Well,
Not
yeah,
me.
not me. Okay, well, just go and
Yeah,
find
whatever.
Phil Oakes. Okay. OCHS. Okay, love me. I'm a liberal, and stand
Okay.
by because it's a
I'll have to
very
listen to this and then puke.
and then, yeah, get back to me on it.
Well, I was gonna too, because so many people after that Kinzinger article, they're attacking me. They're like, "Well, you can't go after the people that are allies." I'm like, "Well, what about you? What you're doing to me right now?" It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
"You're going
exactly.
after me. I'm your ally. Why can't I?" And then they're saying, "Well, you're burning bridges." I'm like, "When did constructive criticism just transform into burn?" I'm saying you're not really helping.
Fragile.
It's like
Fragile.
I've been telling
Y'all
you.
are the white people are the most fragile people on the planet.
Yeah, white fragility is that.
One of the things that I said in one of the exchanges I've had over the last week or so was every time they have an ex-Republican who's now, you know,
Yeah,
seen the light on a panel, they're now the commentators on,
yeah,
the left-leaning, media, etc. Every time you have one of them on, you're not having a progressive on there
yeah,
to
yeah,
actually represent the progressive
yes,
position, and all they're doing is effectively lighting, or providing the centrist party line so that the next time when it drifts right, okay, then they're there again as
yep. And
the
yeah, and since when is Adam Kinzinger the only guy on the J6 committee? I mean, Benny Thompson, invite him on there every now and then, you know? Why
exactly,
not
yeah.
him? And it's like he wasn't the only guy who was there, and Benny Thompson was managed to get reelected, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you're the Democrats place all their faith in this Republican who lost his seat, so he doesn't know how to attract voters. He failed up again, as King Ray
yeah, yeah.
said.
Walter, was it you that was saying the difference between progressive and liberal? Was that you?
I've often said we don't have any liberal representation in the United States. I mean, yeah, I think it's important to mention because if people aren't for universal health care and if they're not for free education, what good is it then? I mean, we can have all these things. We've got like two people in the whole, in our political sphere, there's like two or three people. There's getting to be more though. And I think if we vote everybody out, I mean, I keep being hopeful for the primaries. I'm more hopeful about the primaries than the election because we have an
But we
opportunity to
don't
vote all those
know.
assholes out. Go ahead,
We don't
Kingery.
know who's coming. We don't know. It's hard anymore to figure people out where their heart is, where they really stand. Because no sooner than they say, "This is where I stand," they go and stand over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. I thought you said." It's like you can't listen to what people are saying because they lie just to get your vote.
yes,
That's what
Well, and
black
Ray,
people have been putting up with for the entire time we've been able to vote.
yeah.
And Ray, you're spot on. I'll tell you one thing that's going on now is, as you've probably seen on Substack, there's a number of folks who are reporting the voting of the Democrats, okay, on bills that they
Yeah,
should be voting against, okay, and
Oh,
so
yeah,
there's
yeah,
there's a big movement right now to name names. Who are
I
those
know.
folks? Those are the ones that need to be primaried.
Well,
I
and
mean
they're
that
trying to
that
do it to Jasmine Crockett because there's this big push to push her out. because they're scared of her.
Well, she's running for Senate now, but yeah, they want to
She's running for
smear her,
Senate, but she made a mistake and voted for some bill that had a whole bunch of things in it, and she liked a couple of things in it, but then Israel was in there. So now they're claiming her to be pro-Israel, and I'm like, have y'all listened to her fucking talk?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
listened to her talk? She is not pro-Israel. She's pro-Palestine.
Yep.
But whatever was in that bill, because it was mixed with a whole bunch of other stuff, now they're looking for a reason to discredit her.
Yeah.
And so you don't know who to discredit and who to credit.
Yes.
It's like, what?
Yep. And
you
the
have
left
to do your
uses
homework.
those tactics.
You have to do your homework now. Yeah,
And the
I
left
mean,
uses those tactics. The Democrats use this because they've been, like somebody mentioned in the chat, Mamdani won that primary. He won that fair and square. The Democratic Party didn't rally around Mamdani. And I brought it up to a couple of people. It's like, look, if you guys, you wonder why you lose elections. We vote for a guy and then you don't support that person. And it's just pretty, they don't want us to talk about that ever. They don't, and then they're like, oh, don't do circular firing squad. But it's like, it's you guys.
The centrist Democrats were scared of him too, and they didn't want him to get in there, just like they didn't want Kamala Harris to be president.
Right. Yeah.
They
and
pulled the same crap with her and him, but he ran a hell of a campaign. He couldn't.
He did. I supported
him. Ran him over.
Yes. And speaking of Kamala,
then he had Trump kissing his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the best part.
I thought that was funny.
Well, that's a proof of activism. That's a proof of what you do. I mean, that, the guy in the Oval Office, I don't like to say his name, but he's just so desperate for popularity. They got him propped up on so many things. He's just signing whatever they put in front of him.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like Mamdani knows how to play him, and it's not working. Like what Kinzinger's doing isn't working. Kinzinger just tries to be like the tough guy, and that just fails.
Oh, he's like Newsom.
He's a fraud too. I mean, he just came out and said he didn't want to do the billionaire tax. It's like, okay, there goes all the goodwill I was willing to give you because of that one statement you made. You steal your stripes. That's it. You're gone. And the people that
he's a turncoat.
Don't attack our allies. It's like he's not.
He's not an ally.
What he's doing, he's not helping us.
See, that's why this ally thing, I don't trust that word.
He should be in Minneapolis right now. If he was an ally, and I said that to Kinzinger too, although he won't read me. But like, they need to be going. They need to be like people with a platform that ICE can't just murder, because ICE isn't going to pull the trigger if they see Adam Kinzinger. They're not going to shoot him in the face because he's a white Republican. As King Ray would say.
And a white man.
Yeah, and they know there'll be consequences for that.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, well.
They gave their balls. They went and handed them.
But they just need to be there. And then, but because there's still talk. Like the feckless Democrats are still talking about, they're not willing to say we need to defund ICE. They need to say that. They're saying all this bullshit about body cams and codes and whatever. It's like, they just need to be gone. We need to start calling them domestic terrorists. They're people who kill mothers. Like innocent mothers are getting murdered by ICE. That's all ICE does. So
you can't train that kind of hatred out of people.
Oh, and they're covered in white supremacy tattoos. I've been one of my
friends. They recruited it. Okay. I put out a note, like 4 or 5 months ago, that says, let's see who they're recruiting. It's all the J6ers. It's all of the white supremacists. All of the Nazis out there, the ones that were marching in Charlottesville. Okay, all of them are part of this now.
Yeah,
you can just see the way they walk, the way they handle themselves, the way they treat people. You know who they are.
Yes,
okay? There's no question about it.
I just told somebody today that I had a moment of truth about 9 months ago. And I was very somber because I know that if they come after me, I'll die before I let them beat me, before I let them do whatever the hell they want to do. I'd rather die first. And that realization made me go, wow, I'm too old for this shit. But here we are. And if they come at me, I'm sorry, I'm going out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully, Ray, you're going to have a lot of people standing around you. Yeah, and the evidence is now starting to be obvious. Okay, that this is not a situation where even when it was just a few months ago, or not a few years ago, the Black Lives Matter, and it was still you, okay, African Americans having to stand up for African Americans. Okay, I think over the last several years, an awful lot of of
Yeah, I did
of the
tell you that,
general
Jeff.
population has now said, "This is just not acceptable in
That
any situation."
Yes, that's so important, and it's something I've noticed in the last year. People are a lot more willing to listen, so we have to have the courage to speak. And I'm trying to listen to people like King Ray and change my language because there's some people that will listen to me that won't listen to King Ray, and it's my obligation then to go talk to them. And that's why I've been
Right.
having my regular talks with Will Fullwood. But I kind of want to get back to the civil rights era. I mean, what are the lessons from the civil rights era that apply today? Having lived through it on today of all days, let's talk about those things.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think I would have had the career that I had it not been for civil rights. I would not have had those doors open to me. I did have to do a little fucking trickery. When I became a consultant, they would hire me over the phone, and I can talk white if I want to.
Yeah,
So they did not know they were hiring a black person
yeah.
and for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when I showed up to a job on contract in Texas, and they did not know I was black. And I walk in, and the manager goes, her eyes about fell out of her head, and I saw it. I saw the look on her face. So I ran up to her, and I shook her hand real hard, and I said, "Pleased to meet you." And I just looked at her,
Yeah.
and she went like this. Like, I put cooties on her, right? And I looked back at her like, "Yeah, you hired this nigga for 100 and something thousand dollars." I know I had that shitty grin on my face, and then I
Mhm.
just turned around and walked away. Then she kept wanting me to prove myself to her.
Yeah.
Um,
Hi, Elizabeth.
I would be done doing a project in several days. She'd say, "You're done already?" About the third time she said that, I said, "Look, lady, isn't this what you hired me for? I know what I'm doing. Do you know what you're doing?"
Yeah.
She went, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess what? She threw me a party when I left that contract.
Huh.
So that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for what my parents did
Yeah.
and what their ancestors did and what everybody that has died and bled for this
Mm.
country. How dare they hate us
Yeah.
when we built this place and we made their ancestors rich
Yeah.
while
Was
we
that
got nothing?
was that party genuine appreciation at that point? Had you changed
Yes.
her heart?
Oh,
Good.
she totally. I won her over just by standing up and telling her, "Yes, I'm just as
Good.
smart as you guys.
Good.
Don't
Good.
buy the hype that we're dumb and this and that. We're not. You
Yeah.
know, you hired me to do a job and I'm
Good.
doing it." So she loved me at the end. Had a big ass cake. I mean, I was eating cake for 3 days. I was like, "Oh wow, it snap." I said, "Maybe I shouldn't leave," but I had to go. I had to leave.
Bob, your response or thoughts?
Yeah. No, this is great. I because what I'm seeing now, okay, and I have not seen it in 60 years, is the same spirit as I kind of saw in the 60s.
Mhm,
Because if you think about the 60s and then the fight for civil rights, there were a
mhm.
lot of white people that were supporting that, okay,
Yep,
including the administration. So John F. Kennedy's administration, Robert F. Kennedy,
Robert.
the relationship they had with MLK, and I mean all of it. Okay, was all there in the early to mid 60s, and then in the mid 60s, then you started to have the hippie movement show up. Okay, embracing everybody for who they are. Okay, the whole
Yes.
brotherhood of man.
And
Right. I mean
nobody
that
cared if you were gay. Nobody cared if you were lesbian. Nobody cared if you're white, black, Jewish, Indian, Hispanic,
bingo.
Asian. Nobody cared as long as we were all moving in the same direction and all that other crap didn't matter. Today, I don't know what's going on, but we need to get back to that
Exactly.
spirit.
We were able to do it collectively. We were able to
Yes,
do it in the 60s and early 70s, and
yes.
actually made. If you look at all of the different progressive initiatives that were moved through Congress, passed, codified, put in place that kind of drove most
Yeah.
of the late
Mhm.
70s and 80s and 90s and et cetera. Socially we've been kind of incremental, moving it along. Okay, and so it was a kind of a revolution back there in
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
60s, and I think at this point,
I
in
think
the
we
2020s,
got
we're starting to get
comfortable.
back to the
Yeah.
need for that.
We
Yeah.
got comfortable, we got complacent, we thought it was a done deal,
You know,
and it
Yes.
wasn't.
well, I keep saying because their control of the media, I think the internet hit us and we weren't prepared for what the internet, I mean, in the wrong hands, like these
Oh,
algorithms,
I
it's hate.
tried to warn everybody.
Phew.
I was right
Yeah,
there
you guys
in that
probably had a
industry, and I
better
was like,
perception.
"Y'all don't trust this. Y'all
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
don't let the internet use you. Use the internet."
Yeah, but it's just driven all this hate, but what you're saying is kind of inspiring to me because, I mean, all that legislation that got passed, it was because of the activism of young people and the flower power movement and all that kind of thing, and if we can kinda, and this is like a positive thing that all of us can do, if we can just go back to those roots. Because I was talking with your weirdo friend today, that's her name is your weirdo friend,
Yeah,
and she had
yeah.
a wonderful podcast about how the
I love
second
her,
you
yeah.
start, the second you get violent, history has shown you get just annihilated by the authoritarian regime. And then even if you manage to topple the authoritarian regime, you just replace it with another one. And this nonviolence, the peaceful stuff, the positive stuff, the building community, the flower power movement, free love again. Why not? Why not do that?
We
Better
were all
music, because
fucked
I'm so
up,
tired of the
man.
same music.
I was high as a kite through that whole thing. I didn't care, man. Get who got a joint?
Yeah.
Eh. I've been
But
clean and sober for 42 years
oh,
now.
good for you, good for you. But I
Yeah.
think what I'm seeing though too is the people do have a lot more power than we know, and it's something I haven't
Yeah.
seen in my 50 years to really break apart. Like, okay, it actually is that we are the ones in charge. But that message of fear that they're using is like King Ray says, the white people are just too content to stick their heads in the sand. And I keep running into this too every time. And I'm getting to the point where I'm bringing up white supremacy and I'm just getting that shield, where people are just not even listening. So it's like, well, I got to figure out my arguments in a way. I got to figure out a way to talk to them so it gets past those defenses. They're
Walter,
indoctrinated in. Yeah, go
Walter,
ahead.
welcome to be treated like a
Yeah.
black person.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great compliment.
When
Thank you,
I
sir.
talk to them, the same fucking glassy eyed look comes over their face. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
God, will you guys ever listen to
yeah,
reason and people who have been there and people who know better and people, what is it? What is it? Is it because I'm black? Okay, well, let me go get some white guys. Oh,
see,
Walter and
yeah,
Bob.
see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's been too many white guys that speak with the fluency that I do. That's like to the detriment of everybody because they just don't do it. But it's like this is a proof, and it's like that it's this indoctrination. It's the cultural indoctrination that we have to throw off. We have to be combating that. What are your thoughts on that, Bob?
Yeah, I think going back and making sure that you get folks who can actually speak about history, and the history might go back, hundreds of years. For sure, we need to be fluent on that. Okay, but even the history over the last 60 or 70 years,
Yeah,
I think, is important. And we still have people who have lived it, that have been there.
yeah,
Okay, I think that's the key. We're going to lose us at some point. The baby boomers will, in fact, die off.
Yep.
And the baby boomer generation, okay, dying off, and not telling their stories, not capturing the stories, not being able to convey that history, that personal history, I think is going to be an incredible loss. Because all of the other
That's why I'm
generations,
writing
yeah.
my story now, Bob.
Well, that's
good.
why I wrote my story. Same thing. I speak to all of my friends who are kind of my age, encouraging them all to get however you can, to get words on paper so that people are able to consume that in a way that starts to change their minds, change their hearts in a lot of cases, because they're hearing it from somebody who's lived this.
Yes,
In a way that you cannot get it by just watching a video
Mm.
or seeing a PBS
yeah,
documentary on something.
yeah,
Or
and all
even
those.
talking to people online. There's something about the human ego, that the self-preservation thing, that will make people defensive instead of, oh, instead of being able to take what you're saying and just work it out within yourself. They can do that by themselves, but doing it with around other people, they're gonna, oh, they want to
That's
fight.
that's a really good point because I've had that when I've been talking with Will, and there'll be times I can see him get a little frustrated, and so I'll have to go think about it for a week, and it's just learning at this point too. Like as a teacher, I've found this too. You're trying to teach a complex thing, and what's more complex than these lies that you've been indoctrinated with about who you are, and these lies you've been told about the greatness of your country, and you just have to carefully
Ah,
separate. Because it's so easy to be like, well, my identity as a citizen of this nation. Your identity is that you're a citizen of the world, that you're a human being, and that you need to have, love other human beings. So that
and
careful
think about
process of
make
separating those
America
things.
great again.
Oh boy.
It ain't never been great for us.
Yeah.
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 They're saying make America white again is what they're saying.
Yes. All those
Oh,
dog
yeah.
whistles, everything
Make
that
it
they do is a dog
they
whistle.
they controlled everything, and that's what they want to get back to. And
Yes.
but it's never been great for Black
Yeah.
people.
And what you both have been saying, this movement to erase history, this ongoing movement, real human beings who have been there every step of the way. It's not so easy because then you watch a documentary that was made a year ago by some oligarch who just misrepresents everything, and it's
Right.
like it's so critical for the two of you and me too. I'm in that class where it's just like saying, "Hey, I was there. It wasn't like what they're saying. It wasn't like it," and that people like it's so much easier because it's just that constant pressure. And anybody who's been in a narcissistic, abusive relationship, they just pressure you to accept their reality, because the whole white
Make you start
supremacy
thinking you're
mindset.
nuts. It's like, am I
That's
crazy or did they
yes, yes, that's part
make
of it.
me doubt my own instincts and make me doubt my own. I've been there. I've been in relationships like that, and I'm like, am I crazy? Or maybe I did something. Maybe I'm thinking all fucked up.
Yeah.
Then come to find out, no, it was my instincts were right on. I was
Yes.
just
Yeah.
dealing
Yes.
with a disingenuous, messed up person.
Yes. Yes. Bob,
I think the other thing, yeah, the other thing is, and you're probably starting a lot of my notes and posts and conversations with folks. I'm always trying to go and say, do we have any role models? Okay, that we want to be able to convey to folks to say, hey, you're saying everybody's the same. In fact, I think that conversation started with you and I, Ray, whatever, 6 months ago, where I
Mhm.
posted on somebody, and then Ray goes, "Ah, everybody's the same. Okay, they're all racist. They're all fascists." And it was like, "Oh, hold on, maybe there's a little nuance in there."
Well, I meant to say that all white people are born into racism. And
yes.
it's up to their parents and their environment to shed that. And
Or
9 times out of
themselves. Yeah,
10, it's not shedded. There's
yeah,
still remnants and traces of it everywhere.
Yes.
And, Doctor no, Robin, DiAngelo, look at what she went through when she tried to say, "White folks, y'all too goddamn fragile.
Yeah.
Y'all need
yeah,
to, you got all this privilege, you've got all this entitlement and all of this stuff, and why can't you hear what they're saying?" Um, but they they
yeah,
they don't and they can't and they don't have to. They've
Yeah.
got an opt-out button. I ain't got no opt-out button. I
Yeah.
gotta
yeah,
deal
Yeah.
with this every time it happens. I can't just
Yes.
say, "I don't feel like dealing with this." I
Yeah.
can't say that because it deals with me.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So,
I've been trying to convey to people how that white supremacy they've been indoctrinated with, it's destroying your relationships with your wife and your kids, whether you don't know
Your
about it or not.
family.
Yeah, so that's kind of an effective way I've been able. Yeah, and we're seeing all these families separate. If you give up on white supremacy, you can talk to your daughter again. What's the
yeah.
trade-off here? And they won't do it. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, so I mean, I just want to kind of make a point, because one of the things I'm a progressive. I always have been, since I rejected my mother and father's
Yep.
religion and politics back in the '60s, but uh, there's almost a litmus test now for, especially centrist Democrats and independents and non-voters, and you can give it to them. There's the Progressive Caucus of the House of Representatives. There's about 100 of them. Okay, and if you actually go on and take, look at all their pictures, look at their bios, look at where they are. They're all over the country. Okay, they are the country. Okay, it made up of all different individuals, all different backgrounds, women, men, etc. Okay, and you say, that's the role models that we need to try to focus on. Number one. Number two is like, okay, well, what do they stand for? And you'll see me posting all the time. There's the progressive caucuses, progressive promise. 4 elements broken down, all of the things that we believe in. So it's like, okay, if you want, okay, send this all over the place. Get these people on the panels. Get these people talking about, what they believe in, what they stand for, what they're trying to vote for, what kind of legislation are they trying to push. It's there, okay? So the role models are actually there. They're, nobody's perfect, but they are damn close to perfect in my mind. And you look, and there might be a few white guys there, okay? But there's not 100 white guys. Okay, they're all on the Republican side. Okay, so it's
And
like
it's
this is
on us,
the
Robert.
makeup.
It's on us too.
It is
I mean,
exactly do that.
we gotta make that difference before we perish.
Yeah. I wanna
Exactly.
we're down to like 10 minutes. And so let me just ask, I mean, based on you guys' experience, I mean, is what we're going through now, is it worse now than it was in the civil rights era? How is it different? In what ways are you hopeful? In what ways are you terrified? I mean, just kind of your reflections on that. Ray, if you want to start, or if you want to think about it for a second more.
Is it worse? In a way, yes, only because I've been here, done this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm irritated and annoyed that I'm going through it again. I'm rather fearless. I'm just pissed. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that I'm feeling a little helpless and like I gotta hurt somebody in order to get them to do the right thing. And it just, I've been feeling a lot of things, and that they weren't kidding when they said, ain't nobody coming to save us. So we're the ones, we're it. We, the people, when wasn't even part of that formula when it was created. We, the people, meant y'all white folks, y'all white men. So it hasn't quite converted over to, yes, we, the people, is all the people, not just this particular demographic. So I think in a lot of ways, there's too many weapons in this. There's a lot more weapons than we fought with rocks. We fought with rocks and sticks and all sorts of stuff in the city in our fists. And we didn't fight with guns, 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 guns. So in a way, it's more dangerous now than it was then.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to deal with that. We have to deal with the fact they're going to get real violent here real soon.
Mm-hmm.
What you going to do?
Yeah, and actually, I feel that I've never seen it this bad. Yes, kind of racism in the 50s and 60s probably was kind of worse, but we really didn't have the systemic fascism, okay? And all of these folks that are leaning heavily authoritarian, okay, that's going on now, okay? We are within a breath of the fascists taking over completely the country. They already have pretty much, it's a breath, okay? And if you look back and say, well, we had Nixon and he was horrible. No. He actually still believed in the rule of law, okay?
Yes.
Right? He resigned. He left government based on the Republicans pushing him out, okay? So you kind of look at all of it. There was still some modicum of integrity and some modicum of adherence to the rule of law, and those kind of things. Always, okay. Over the last 10 years of Trump, okay, all of that's starting to go out the window, and now he effectively has gotten from the Supreme Court, carte blanche to go and do whatever he wants to do with whoever he wants to do it with worldwide. Okay. So am I fearful that we are in a very different spot right now.
Mhm.
I do. Okay, I do. So it is very frightening for the old white guy. That we are all in it. Okay,
Yep.
and we better all be together in
We
opposing
have to
this
stop
because
them.
it. Yeah, exactly.
How do we stop them
Yeah.
without
So
well, I'm
yeah.
military, so
Well, let me just because we
Exactly.
got 5 more minutes, and so I mean we've underscored how serious the situation is, but what are some things that are giving you hope? And let's just finish it on some hope for people, or some other activism, or some encouragement that way. Go ahead and start, King Ray.
well, finding you guys gave me hope because I didn't think I'd ever see a couple of gentlemen that had the wherewithal to deal with whatever they had to deal with inside to bring it out forward and say, hey, we need to go this way. And that gives me hope. Uh, Different writers on Substack give me hope. The fact that people are protesting out there gives me a lot of hope because they weren't doing that by themselves before. They needed us to start that fight back in the 60s. So right now they're pushing back against this regime. And that gives me hope.
Bob?
Yeah, what gives me hope actually is Maxwell Frost in Florida. You guys all know Maxwell Frost?
Mm,
If you don't, look him up. He's African American, okay, a Gen Z, okay, who won his congressional seat in Florida. I supported him, okay, and if we can get, okay, Gen Z stepping up, which I do believe that they're ready for it. Okay, and then folks like Bit Hogue, who heads up Leaders We Deserve. I speak about that all the time. I've been a supporter from day one of Leaders We Deserve, who's actually trying to get progressive Gen Zs elected to office at
mhm.
all levels. I think that gives me hope. And then I also support 314 Action, which is actually a progressive movement that's associated with getting scientists and medical professionals elected to office. And then vote vets. If you have not, if you're a
Excellent.
vet, you
I've
better,
heard of
and a
them.
progressive, you better be sending money to vote vets because they are looking to get veterans, progressives elected to office at all levels. And then Emily's List as well. Same deal. Progressive women elected. What gives me hope is I don't send any money other than very pointed to different candidates, but I'm trying to get those folks who have the voice, who have the platform, who now trying to invest in all of these different elections. As much
Oh,
as I can
they
get,
use them.
the better,
Mm,
because that gives me hope.
excellent. Thank you, Bob. And I will just say too, I mean, we do have tools at our disposal now. We have this ability to have a platform. We have a ability to document quickly what's happening. And remember, when they assassinated Renee Nicole Good, there are 5 or 6 camera angles there. We got to get out there and document it because we've seen what this regime tries to do. They try to change reality. They try to change facts. And the more people out there, they're all heroes. The people out there recording, and we got to emphasize the accountability because
Yeah.
even though they got their faces covered, we got the technology that can identify people by the way they move and their bone structure and things like that. So they got to know,
Well, we got
it's
all
like
that pictures. We have all that pictures from J6. We got all that pictures. All we have to do is match them up. They're all there.
they're all there. So we know who they are. And just talking about this, using our voice, having the willingness to speak, we don't have to. It's like as your weirdo friend was saying, we don't have to be violent. We have plenty of peaceful means to do things. We don't have to sit here and be frustrated and think we're powerless. We're not. So everybody, I thank you for listening to this conversation. Let's do our closing thoughts. Go ahead, King Ray. Tell us what you think, and then we'll head off.
Well, I think this is a great start. I think this is where we need to be going, where we need to be heading as a country. And we definitely have to figure it out together. And without the together, people get frustrated. angry, and they'll want to fight. They'll want to get violent. Because if we don't get a handle on this, there will be a civil war.
Mm-hmm. Stay together.
Yeah, 2026, okay, election year, okay. We got the primaries coming up, like right in our face, right shortly here. Go find yourself. I would primary anybody who's voting with the Republicans. Go find yourself. Know who your representative is. Know if you've got senators running, governors, whatever. Okay, find out who they are. Who are the progressive candidates? Okay, that are going to be running against them in the primaries. Get out there, start supporting them, because ultimately this year we have the opportunity still to come back from the brink. Okay, and in fact elect a slate of progressives in an overwhelming way.
Yes.
To Congress, okay, to then hold this administration accountable. Be progressives. We can't just have another bunch of centrist Democrat, mealy mouth, folks in those positions. So that's my closing comment is we have an opportunity. If we don't do it this year,
Yeah.
we may be lost.
Yeah. Now's the
Forever.
time.
For a long time.
Well, everybody, thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks for all the
you.
people in the chat. Thank you so much, King Ray. It's been a delight talking to you, and let's continue to have our conversation. I find that I get to know people. I like them so much in comments and things, but having a chance to sit down like this face to face for an hour, it's 1,000 times more than we do in comments and messages that I know you now. So it's just so helpful and so wonderful. So thanks for giving your time. And always, as Bob, it's always a delight to see you. All right, I guess
Okay,
we're closing. I think we're having some
Ray,
tech issues. There
Walter.
he is. I was giving him a section. All right, thank you everybody so much. We'll see you. Stay strong, keep resisting, and yeah, we're all going to rise together. We're going to beat this. So thanks everybody. We'll see you.
Thanks, Walter.
We're
Thanks,
going to
Bob.
beat it. We're going to do it.